Thank you. Thank you all for being here today as we share in this wonderful opportunity to move both Florida and America forward in the years ahead of the 21st century in the presidential election cycle of 2016. Of course, I wanted to personally thank the Vice President of the Pinellas Now chapter, Elaine Campbell, for asking me to be here with all of you today to speak on behalf of Ready for Hillary and why it is so important that we shatter that highest and hardest glass ceiling for women and girls and elect the woman at the helm of the sisterhood of the traveling pantsuits movement that is Hillary Rodham Clinton as the first woman president in 2016. My name, of course, is Darr, and I'm a founding member of Ready for Hillary, and I am the current region lead for Florida of the newly formed Millennial Council of Ready for Hillary. Now, I get this a lot. What is Ready for Hillary? Ready for Hillary is a super PAC. It's what I like to call a grassroots movement of committed Americans and supporters from all over our great nation who have this general belief in Secretary Clinton, her belief in public service and how it can change people's lives for the better, and why we are also invested in ensuring that we draft her to run for President of the United States of America in 2016. And what is the Millennial Council? The Millennial Council was just launched last week. We just had our first conference call, actually last night, where I was informed that I was the top funder for the launch of it. I love it because now I can really stroke my ego because I was top 3 of organizers in the entire country last year for Ready for Hillary. So I'm very happy that the work that I've been doing is paying off, especially in the state of Florida, as we realize somebody, he will not be named, might be running for president that was a former governor of this state. 2 Bushes is enough, I don't think we need another one. So, of course, I've been involved with Ready for Hillary for over 2 years now. And in that time, we have grown to build a grassroots movement of over 3 million committed supporters from all corners of the country who are tirelessly working to organize efforts to draft Secretary Clinton to run for President of the United States in 2016. Now, who in this room, by show of hands, is ready for Hillary? Woo! Me too! Who's heard of Ready for Hillary before today? Good! Yay, awesome. Now, as I was saying, I was 16. I'm still not 16, believe it or not. I got my ID checked at the door. I promise you I'm almost 24. But I was 16 when Hillary ran for president in 2008. I was ready for Hillary in 2008, and I am ready for Hillary in 2016.
And you can actually vote.
And I can vote this time. That's the good part. So, my travels have they've taken me everywhere, from Florida to New York, from Pennsylvania to one of the most important states, that is Iowa, from Ohio, my home state, to Georgia, from Amsterdam to Paris and beyond, where I talk about why America must elect Hillary Clinton as the next president of the United States. I spend so much of my time traveling the entire state of Florida. I organize speeches, events, fundraisers, get out the vote events to canvass potential Hillary supporters for 2016 should she decide to run for president. I've truly been everywhere. I feel like I'm either Dan Rich or I'm Charlie Crist. I'm all over the state all the time. But I've been everywhere from Escambia to Hillsborough, from Miami-Dade to Wakulla, Volusia to Bay, Hillsborough, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, Pasco. I mean, the list goes on. I've been everywhere in this beautiful state, and many other counties all throughout the state within the past year, of course, to my home county here in Pinellas. One thing in my travels has become very clear, that the women of the Sunshine State are ready to elect a woman president in 2016. It's about time. Now, electing Hillary Clinton as president, believe it or not, it's not just an effort on behalf of Americans, but it is a shared opportunity and a global effort on behalf of the world's women and girls to press into the unexplored reservoir of potential that women and girls share when the world's women and girls have every opportunity, as Jesse Clinton was saying, to live up to their own God-given potential. Now, you see, America electing a female president sends a message that is very loud, and believe me, it sends a message that is ever so clear. It sends a message that will ripple across America and nations all across the globe, that when women and girls are fully able and equal to participate in society and government, not only do women do better, and this is what I hope most men will start to realize, our families do better. Economies do better. Nations and governments do better when women are fully represented, have a seat at the table, and have a voice in the choices that the world makes and goes through in deciding how we move forward the ideas that help shape the fabric of our lives. Common sense, right? Now, if I can only get all the other Republicans to believe that too, and the men of the world. Now, as I was saying earlier, I was just 16 years old when I worked my first campaign as an intern, which was the Hillary Clinton for President campaign in 2008 in the battleground state of Ohio. Now, as many of you can recall, what a historically progressive primary campaign it was, and what an energizing and exciting time it came in American history when America went on to elect its first black president in Barack Obama. In the process, of course, of that hard-fought Democratic primary for president, we put over 18 million cracks in that glass ceiling that has been waiting, sitting there above us to be shattered for over 7 years now. You know, in some ways, for me personally, I know that Lonnie could definitely attest to this, I feel as if the 2008 campaign never ended because of Secretary Clinton's unwavering commitment to public service and making the world a better place. And that is why we're all here today. We're all here today because something or someone inspired you to get off the sidelines. We're all here today because we believe in our country and the belief that we must strengthen the basic bargain of America. Now, you're probably wondering, what is that? Which you already know. It's the idea that no matter who you are, where you live, and yes, even who you love, if you work hard and you play by the rules, you deserve the opportunity, the same opportunity as anyone else, to make a good life for yourself, your family, and your children, moving forward the middle class and lifting people up out of poverty so we all have a shot at achieving the American dream. That has been the life work of both Bill and Hillary Clinton. You see, Hillary believes in what we can do together when we all work together, when we fight together to strengthen the promise of America, our can-do spirit, and our ability to meet any challenge and solve any problem. Anything is possible with our can-do spirit of America and what we offer globally to nations who feel invisible to world leaders, diplomacy, and foreign relations that often take place throughout the rest of the world. Hillary has taught me, as you know, I think she's probably taught a lot of us in this room, that when you get knocked down, you get back up and you keep on fighting. Now, that isn't the only way in which Secretary Clinton has lived her life both in public and in private, but it is also the American way in which we all go through when fighting to grasp the economic potential and opportunity that America offers in the 21st century. When we get knocked down, yes, even in a hard-fought Democratic primary for president, you get back up, you keep pushing forward to make the world a better place, and Hillary Rodham Clinton has done just that. Whether it be Hillary's time working in Arkansas as an attorney for the law firm, to her time working with and improving the public education system in Arkansas as the First Lady of Arkansas. How many times can I say Arkansas? I just said it again. To, of course, her time working with the Children's Defense Fund in New York City and serving on the board of HIPPY to ensure that children have access to educational opportunities and after-school programs that focus on and nourish early childhood development and the future minds of children and the adults that they will one day become. Something very interesting, I believe it was in 1985, 1986, HIPPY, which is it's in New York and in DC, it's all over. Hillary was actually appointed to the board in 1986 by Nan Ridge. She's a former Florida State Senator. I very proudly voted for Nan Ridge for governor of Florida. So you can see what the women of the world, that most of them happen to be Democrats that are in elected office, that are fighting for and championing the human rights of women all over. You can see how that history goes back together in shattering that glass ceiling. To, of course, then Hillary's work as First Lady of the United States of America, where she worked closely with the Clinton administration to focus on initiatives that would grow and strengthen the middle class, while implementing programs and initiatives that focused on reproductive health care, early childhood development, income inequality, of which I'm sure some of you remember, the Clinton administration went on to raise the minimum wage twice, because both Bill and Hillary Clinton believe that as the cost of living goes up, it's common sense. So should one's wage, so you're not continuously always falling behind. Then, of course, there's this other thing, this pesky thing to the Republicans called universal health care. Remember that? Now, I remember it from watching it on YouTube, but I was floored. I was 4, yeah, but I was 4 years old. You can believe that. I'm 6 now. But no. I was 4 years old when Hillary Clinton tried to implement the progressive ideals of universal health care, which speaks to her being a true democratic progressive, always so ahead of her time. Now think about that. I was 4. Now where were all of you? Speaking of which, of course, to that I would like to applaud President Obama, but who else? The Democrats, for delivering on an issue and for working for the American people and delivering on the promise of change that is the Affordable Care Act. And why we need to start embracing the policies of the Obama administration, especially after the losses that we had suffered in 2014. Some of you might not know this. 2014 was the lowest voter turnout in United States history since 1942.
Wow.
Yep, that's it. But if we start implementing and, accepting many of the great things that the Obama administration has done, what so many of the progressives and the Democrats, the Democratic Party are doing nationwide, you'll be able to see why, it's true that there are more people that are enrolled in the Affordable Care Act in the state of Florida than any other state. I'm so proud of that. You know what state's number 2? Of course, it's Texas. Which, if you hear, so many of their state Senate and state House reps are predominantly Republican, but isn't that funny that the people are still in their states, they're voting to elect them, but they're jumping to the Affordable Care Act.
And so if you don't call it Obamacare, they love it.
Exactly, most of them think it's 2 separate things. So we need
they know, they'll call it Obama. You don't say the word Obamacare in Kentucky, and it's wildly popular.
Exactly, and there are many polls that have shown that. So it's it's that disconnect and making sure that we not just sell the brands, especially going into 2016 or any other election cycle. We don't need to sell the world on Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. They've already got it. I think they definitely know who Hillary Clinton is by now. If they don't, then maybe they should read Hard Choices. It's only 652 pages, but it's selling them the Democratic brand and what so many Democrats stand for. Of course, after her time as First Lady of the United States, we all know that Hillary went on to become a United States Senator representing the great state of New York. It's in the United States Senate where she worked across the aisle time and time again to move forward legislation that would put into place a level economic playing field for our families, our seniors, our veterans, young people, women and children, and future generations of children, while additionally serving on numerous committees such as the Foreign Relations Committee. Now, Hillary, of course, worked with many other United States senators, including this man named Barack Obama, which then, of course, leads me into that hard-fought Democratic primary for president in 2008. Having worked on that campaign and seeing Hillary grow as both a candidate and a human being, and seeing her heart so invested in our country and what we can do together when we work together, I know that Hillary never forgot where she came from. Of course, being a product of the middle class and fighting for and championing the core democratic principles and values that most of us stand for in this room today. Of course, although our campaign fell short of our ultimate goal, Hillary brushed herself off, and she worked harder than anyone, President Clinton included, to campaign for then Senator Obama 73 times. That's unheard of. That's never been done. That's never, ever been done. Johnson and Kennedy, that hadn't even been done. It hadn't. I've never heard of anybody doing that. It speaks to her character for her to be able to be so graceful and doing that. Of course, then we went on to elect Barack Obama as the 44th President of the United States in 2008. Of course, upon Obama's election in 2008, Hillary would become the 67th Secretary of State, where she would help to restore our standing in the world and restore the trust that had been broken and battered by who else? The Bush administration. As many countries, and it's true, they universally look to America to lead the way economically and in terms of foreign relations and hard choices that are made in an ever-changing political climate and global world. Hillary would strengthen sanctions on Iran, broker a ceasefire in November of 2012 between Israel and Hamas, which she had also opened up Myanmar, which led to the freeing of over 2,000 political prisoners who just wanted to have a say, a voice, and a vote in their government. People in other nations all across the world who are dying for the right to vote and have a say and a voice in this world. She worked with the Libyan people, of course, to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi, and worked with the United States military and the Obama administration to rid the world of the man that was Osama bin Laden. She worked tirelessly to implement person-to-person diplomacy while advocating for economic statecraft, which helped United States companies to win business overseas, restored American credibility in countries like Burma and Egypt, and fought for true, peaceful, and pragmatic diplomacy and security decisions and concerns that the United States had gone through in the first 4 years of the Obama administration. All of us, of course, while fighting for human rights, women's rights, gay rights, and bringing voice to the millions of women and girls all over the world who believe in Hillary Clinton and what she will one day become. With over 1 million miles logged and a roster of over 112 countries visited, Hillary has become the most traveled Secretary of State in United States history. So it's no wonder, while so many are joining this movement of Ready for Hillary to ensure that we elect a president who is ready on day one. You see, America faces such significant and trying times and challenges, not just at home, but of course as well as abroad. We hear about it all the time. All too often, we hear of so many Americans who are struggling to make it in a tough economy that seems to have just been rigged against them. People living paycheck to paycheck, having to choose between rent, groceries, utility bills, healthcare costs, but still hoping to have a little money left over at the end of the month to care for themselves, their children, and their families. Families whose homes have gone into foreclosure. Men and women who work day and night trying to pay the bills, but hoping that they don't get sick because they still can't afford health insurance. Young people who can't afford to go to college to pursue their own dreams. Seniors and veterans who are continuously being denied health care, in part because of a lack of closing the coverage gap, Medicare extension, and many around the country who are cutting pensions and the veterans' benefits of Social Security of our seniors and those who have served our great nation. That is what today is all about. Not just for me, but for millions all across our nation who are so invested in the future of America. In just a short period of time, Florida and the rest of America will have a very hard choice to make. A choice between the guardians of gridlock and the champions of shared opportunity and shared prosperity. A chance to elect leaders who will carry on and put forth a democratic standard that is fair to every American, every senior, every family, every single mom, every veteran, every young person, and every child. So we all have a chance to live up to our own God-given potential while fighting to grasp, of course, the American dream. This is our chance. This is our chance to elect a leader who believes in hardworking families and that the economy should truly work for everyone, not just the 1%. This is our chance to elect a leader who believes that women should be able to make their own health care decisions and believes in the common sense principle of equal pay for equal work in 2015. This is our chance. This is our chance to put forth so many progressive ideas into action and get America back to work again for middle-class families. It's like former United States Senator Tom Harkin of Iowa says, electing Democrats is like learning to drive a car at your local AAA. If you want to go backwards or reverse, put the car into R. But if you want to go forward, you got to put the car into D. And why is that? It's because Democrats drive home America. Remember that. The only direction that matters in life is forward. So, as we leave here today, let us move forward and begin this very important work. The work that is more than about making a living as vital as that really is. It's the work that's fundamental to our own sense of self-worth, human dignity,